Kane.
Ladies and gentlemen, please, if I could have your attention, please. I believe if we can reduce the little bit of the talking noise, we hopefully might be able to hear us a little bit better. We're turning up as I'm speaking here, the speakers up front, so we'll continue to monitor that for you. We apologize for some of you sitting in the front row. It may get a little loud for you. It's my pleasure to start our program this evening. And with that, I'd like to introduce our first Vice President, please, to give our memorial service. Jerry Koplowski, please.
Yes. Can I have Mike McPherson and Tiffany Friars, please, step forward? Us of 4 Hall of Fame members. And this is the first one is Diane Wood, 1988. Second is James Jim Lemming, 2008. Third is Velma Chasey, 2016. Fourth is Janice Casey, 2000. As we gather today with hearts full of cheer, we will share tales of our bowlers who have taken, their spot on the alley up high, where heavenly strikes grace the sky. They will join the legends who have gone before bowling on the celestial shore. With a twinkle in their eye and a bowling ball in their hand, they will face the best in that far off land. We'll laugh and remember their antics on the lanes, the strikes and spares, the moments revealed. For in laughter and joy, their memory will thrive. Our bowling friends have thrown their last strike here on earth and are now throwing perfect games in heaven. And the memories will forever be alive. In these moments of meditation, we invite you to join with a silent tribute to all of our members who have passed since we last met. No matter the role played, each his or her own sphere of influence left his or own way an indelible impression upon fellow bowlers, the association, and the sport. So with humble spirits and grateful hearts for the heritage those people left us with, we submit this prayerful salute to those bowlers who have passed. Life's race well run, life's work well done. Life's victory won, now cometh rest. Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry. Thanks, Michael and Tiffany. This time it's my pleasure to introduce to you our third Vice President and our Hall of Fame Chairman, Miss Tiffany Friars. Tiffany?
Welcome, everybody. I'd like to thank you for coming out tonight to this great event. It's a pleasure to see everybody and glad everybody could attend. I'd like to recognize the Hall of Fame committee this year that helped with this selection. We have John Hammond, Jenny Ferguson, Donna Denny, and Mike Cozy couldn't be here tonight, and Mindy Wright. So thank you so much this year with our committee meetings and getting our selections selected. I'd like to start with announcing the 4 being inducted tonight, and the first one on our list is going to be, It's going to be posthumously John Murphy, and tonight for the induction is going to be Larry Fair.
As Tiffany said, my name is Larry Fair, and my dad was inducted into the Indiana State USBC Hall of Fame in 2013. After his induction, it occurred to me that there may be other gentlemen who are worthy of induction into the Hall of Fame based upon their term of performance and other activities. Most of these gentlemen would have to be active in the 1930s and 40s, which is almost 100 years ago. After some research, I found 3 men who seemed to be worthy of the honor: Don Johnson, Bonnie Schneider, and Johnny Murphy. Bonnie and Don are already entered into the Hall of Fame, but tonight we're going to honor Johnny Murphy. If any of you are interested in a picture of Johnny, there's one on the table up here in the front. But I've also got a scrapbook open on the table back behind here. It's got some pictures of these guys. They bowled in white shirts and ties, quite a contrast from what we do today. I met Johnny on a couple of occasions as a child, but I don't remember much about him. I know that he was married. I know that he had no children. To my knowledge, he has no living relatives, so I'm accepting this award on his behalf. As I shared with many of you when my dad was inducted in the Hall of Fame, bowling conditions were much different during the 30s and 40s than they are today. Wooden lanes and wooden pins that were set by hand left all kinds of inconsistencies. Bowling balls were made of hard rubber as contrasted to plastic, urethane, and reactive resin today. As a result, scoring was much more difficult before technology changed the game. As an example, an average of 200 or better was exceptional. 300s were rare, and a 700 series was superior. I found a record of Johnny's average in 1935-36. He averaged 212, which was the second high average in the city. I assume he averaged over 200 from the mid-30s to about 1940. And during that time, he's had 2 300s and presumably several 700s. However, in my opinion, the most notable accomplishment occurred in 1936 when he won the ABC All-Events title. Considering the thousands of bowlers who compete in this national event, it was truly remarkable. He served in the armed forces in World War II, so there's no record of his bowling from 1942 to 47. Upon his return, he was voted to the All-City team in 1946-47. His team won the Indianapolis Star Traveling League, and they won the Indiana State Tournament. There's no record of any activity of him that I could find after 1947. I really appreciate those responsible for his election into the Indiana State USBC Hall of Fame. I believe he is worthy of the honor. Shortly after my dad's induction, I gathered up his medals and awards and took them to the International Bowling Museum in Arlington Museum for safekeeping. I will send Johnny Murphy's award there as well. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Larry, so much for that. It was a pleasure. Our next introduction tonight is going to be Tom Banner. And tonight we have the pleasure of Mike Kirkpatrick going to be introducing and telling us a little bit about Tom.
Can you hear me now? That's an old saying. Tom Banner, a very successful businessman and a very accomplished bowler, well deserving of being honored tonight going into class of 2025. Tom and I go back probably 55 years. Traveled a lot with him. Of course, I was on his tail. I followed him around like a puppy because he's the guy that did all the bowling. I just helped carry the bowling bag in for him. But some of the things that I'd like to say, Brian told me we had to be out here by 11 o'clock, so I'm going to shorten this down a little bit. Tom, back in the day, in ABC days, you know, there used to be a tournament, it might still be, I'm not sure, but called the Bowler's Journal. And when we used to bowl the national tournament, after we got done bowling the team event, we'd go to the Bowler's Journal. It might be 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night before we get there, but Tom has been with him, and he'd still be bowling when we get out, the sun would be shining. He'd bowl all night long with different partners. Some of his accomplishments there in '74 when we had the tournament in Indianapolis, yay! He won that tournament. The next year it went to Dayton and he defended his championship and won the tournament again. So Tom was very well known amongst the bowlers in the Bowlers Journal. The Midwest Bowling Association, some of you in here might remember that. We had the bowlers of Maynard Lewis and Dave Scott, Gordy Bear and all those guys, A.D. Bird, used to bowl, travel around. We had a great time. But you know that back in the day, the bowling team that everyone looked at and heard about was the Stroh's bowling team with Dick Weber and all of them. Well, we had a team in Anderson that we thought was equivalent to that. It was Tom Banner, Bill Robinson, who's in our Hall of Fame, Howard Donovan, who's in our Hall of Fame, Willie Greenlee, who's in our Hall of Fame, and Floyd Dixon. There used to be people that didn't even bowl when Coopers had their center across the street before they moved over where they're currently now the championship lanes. They used to come out and watch the All-American Classic bowlers bowl. I remember one couple, Mr. and Mrs. Stone. They come out every Thursday night and sit behind Banner, Dixon, Greenlee, Donovan, and Robinson and watch them bowl. That says a lot about what them boys did in the city of Anderson. Tom has been, in fact, we lived together for a short time at my house in Middletown. And one night he said, "What are you doing tonight?" And I said, "Nothing." Why? He said, "Why don't you go with me over to Newcastle?" Back when he had the Newcastle lanes. I watched Tom shoot 702 and lower his average that night. That gives you an idea of how he used to bowl. That's back in the day when they had the lacquer. So I don't want to spend a lot of time. You've all got the programs here that tell us a lot about his accomplishments. I don't want to take anything away and give time for the other people to have their well-due as well. But it is definitely my honor and distinct privilege to introduce to you my friend, Tom Banner.
Well, I recognize a lot of guys out there that I used to bowl with. Bill, Denny Cooper, lot more, I can't remember the names. But I'd like to start off by thanking Mike for turning my name in, and Bill Kendall for following up with him. And next, my wife Carla for putting up with me all these years. And my daughter Natalie and her husband Mark, and my daughter Jamie and Oliver. And Natalie and Mark's got a son that's a senior this year. I thought he was gonna be a Boilermaker, but I'm not sure now. As you talk to Oliver, Oliver's gonna be a Hoosier this year. And they went to IU, and Garrett said that I believe they have more fun at IU. So he might be going to IU. But I'd like to start off with, like Mike said, I bowled with Willie Greenby. He had a pro shop in Anderson for probably 50 years. And he drew me my first fingertip ball. And I still use close to those measurements to this day. He was a great ball doer. And Billy Robinson, who, like Mike said, is in the Hall of Fame. Howard Donovan's in the Hall of Fame. They're all not with us anymore. But how many of you guys remember on Friday night, the pot game after the league at 11 o'clock? How many of you guys ever went to that pot game at the old bowl map? Floyd Dixon, he taught me more about bowling than any one person I can remember. There'd be 75 people bowling. It's a $5 entry, win or take all. He won 7 pots in a row down there that night. And Willie Ringley always rode with him, and Floyd told me, he said, that gone Willie, he wants to split every week. He never wins, and I have to give him half my money all the time. But next, I bowled with Denny Cooper, Bobby Cooper, Billy Howe. You guys all remember these guys. Billy always had fun. And Ron Bovey. And I think we won the league every year we bowled together. And I really miss Bobby and Billy and Ron and Denny. I haven't been around them for quite a few years. I remember when I built a restaurant in Newcastle, Denny told me, he says, "You'll be sorry." And I was sorry. But I miss those guys, and just about everyone that I bowled with over the years is gone, but Denny and I, and had a lot of fun. We bowled a lot of tournaments. I enjoyed bowling in the Hoosier Senior League of Masters down in Indianapolis. I bowled for 8 years, and they brought their banquet every year to my restaurant in Newcastle. There'd be 120 people from Indianapolis come to Newcastle for the banquet, and we'd have a golf game afterwards. And I can't even read my writing. Oh, I was going to mention Chuck Simpson and Ken Atkinson, and there's a lot of guys I met down in Indianapolis that I really liked, had a lot of fun. And I appreciate everybody coming out, and I appreciate all the people that voted for me, and thank you.
Thank you, Mike, for the introduction, and congratulations to Tom Banner. Our next inductee tonight is going to be Mark Hunt, and we're going to ask for Jerry Hindle to come up, and he's going to introduce Mark to us.
First off, I'd like to congratulate Tom Banner, Chuck Kane, Johnny Murphy, and their families on their induction tonight. I'm going to keep my remarks brief for two reasons. Number one, you can check the program for Mark's accomplishments. They speak for themselves. And secondly, knowing Chuck Kane, I'm sure he will be able to use a few more minutes when he gets up to the podium. When Edie Klein nominated Mark, she didn't know what category to put him in. She left that up to the committee. I think that pretty much sums it up right there. Mark came to work at Hindle Bowl as a teenager in 1978. 46 years later, he was still there when we closed after 67 years. Needless to say, Mark was one of the main reasons we lasted that long. When Mark came to work for us, the bowling alley was just that. All bowling, no bar, no video games, no TVs. The large majority of that was league bowling. It's no wonder that building leagues and taking care of league bowlers became one of Mark's strong points. I don't know how many times he told me, just because they say no the first couple times you ask them, doesn't mean they aren't going to bowl in the league. And he was right. Mark was all about creating lifelong bowlers. I don't want to overlook the superior performance category. There's one item in his resume that really got my attention. Bowling a 300 game in 5 decades, in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, and your 60s. Most of us would love to bowl one 300 game in any decade. If Hindle Bowl had a Hall of Fame, Mark would be in 2 categories: superior performance and meritorious service. It's an honor for me to welcome Mark Hunt up to the podium.
Thank you, Jerry, for those kind words. You know, bowling gives you a thrill. Think about the 4 or 5-year-old kid bowling, and he knocks all the pins down for the first time. He's just excited. And then you look at his parents, they're equally excited. Think of the first time you guys out there threw a strike. For most of you in the room, a string of strikes. There's absolutely nothing better. Congratulations to the 25 inductees on your induction this evening to the Hall of Fame. It is my honor to share your night. I'd also like to thank Edie Klein for everything that you've ever done for bowling, and you have done a lot over the past years. And thank you for always encouraging me. I'd also like to thank the Hall of Fame committee for making one of my dreams come true this evening. Everyone in here tonight, let's take a minute and remember all of the past Hall of Fame members that are no longer with us. A couple that come to my mind are Carl Hindle and Ron Still Jr. To the current Hall of Fame members, thank you for influencing me. Because of everyone in this room, you wanted me to be better. You wanted me to be better. To all the current and past USDC board members, as well as ABC, GIBA, and IWBA, thank you for putting tournaments on so bowlers have stuff to bowl in. I could probably stay up here and talk about most of you in this room, but it would be too long. But I do have a few people I'd like to introduce and recognize tonight. First of all, my daughter Lisa. for making me want to be better every day. You are the bowler of our family now, and I'm so happy you still want to bowl with me. I love you. To Chris, thank you for being the special man you are, and for continuing to bowl with me and teach me. I love you as well. Tim Mack, a great ambassador for bowling and for helping grow the sport of bowling. Thank you for all that you do, and thank you for teaching me it's okay not to go the way the other people go. Steve Lang, for always saying yes to bowl a tournament or a league. This guy has done so much for the city of Indianapolis and for all the bowling family. He would always used to tell me just kind of grind it out because you never know. And boy, was he right. Also, thanks to Steve for his introduction to Columbia 300. For me, that's a proud position that I've been with for the past 15 years, and I'm very proud of that. Jerry Hindle, thanks for taking a chance on a kid. Everything that I have accomplished is due to Jerry. He taught me everything about the bowling industry. He got me time off to bowl stuff, and he taught me how to take care of customers. Thank you for your patience and for always trying to keep me calm, especially when I get excited. You made me a better man, and I'm extremely grateful for everything that you've done for myself and my family. Last and equally important, I'd like to recognize my league and tournament bowlers that are here tonight. If my tables would stand up, please. If it wasn't for you guys, I would not be up here. Thank you for bowling with me. In closing, I'd like to say just a couple words about Hindle Bowl. A couple words that come to mind. One of them is tough. If you bowled there, the conditions were tough, and if you could bowl at Hindle's, you could bowl at any place. The other thing I think about is leagues. And it was our goal always to take care of our league bowlers and to do the very best we could for them and take care of them so they wanted to come back and they wanted to continue to bowl. And that was our whole goal in life. That's obviously my legacy. And Jerry Hindle, I can't thank you enough for that. Thank you.
Congratulations again to Mark, and thank you, Jerry, for the introduction. Our last inductee tonight, I think probably at least 99% in this room knows who this man is. If you don't, you're going to get to know him well. But his name is Chuck Kane, and tonight we're going to have two people come up and introduce him. It's going to be Terry Stump and Marsha Miller. If you'll come forward, please.
Terry and I have only known Chuck for about 15 years when he came to Warsaw. But what a 15 years that's been. We met him when he came to the bowling alley to be our manager, and he has done nothing but been light in our eyes. You know, his jokes and everything else. He has helped when we had our state seniors tournament at our place. When my husband started it and then he passed away right in the middle, Terry took over as manager for me so we could continue on. So Terry has a lot more to say about him.
Well, as everybody knows that knows Chuck, once you've met him for the first time, you're no longer a stranger, you're a friend. And after several years of being friends, we're family. And Chuck, he does so much for bowling. He thinks he doesn't do as much as what he does, but he's been part of BPAA for years. And he also runs tournaments at his bowling alley, Lucky Strike in Elwood. He has what he calls both. We bowl and we golf, and each time it's for either the youth or for the veterans. So Chuck has done a lot for bowling. So I'd like to introduce to you my friend, Chuck Kane.
Okay. First of all, paybacks are hell. When the girls decided I should put my application in, I was really lackluster on that, but they shamed me into it, so I told them I was going to get even. That's why they got up there and had to introduce me. So that said, first of all, I'd like to congratulate the other inductees as well, Tom, Mark, and in memory of John, and to the Hall of Fame for, I guess you ran out of applications, and that's how I got in here. I haven't figured it out anyway. But anyway, I had no idea how many people were going to be here in representing this hall and this induction, but I started counting. I thought, my God, we got three tables here. I thought, oh, that's good. And I looked, there's 3 more tables behind me, so I'm not going to try to introduce all of them, but I would like to introduce my family first of all. They don't have to stand or do any of that, but Brent and Stephanie Kane, and their son Alex, and also Tamara and Sam, her husband Sam Jarrett, they're here. And not only that, I wanted to say that not only that, they've got a future bowler on the way. And son Kane could not be here. He's on maneuvers there at Fort Atterbury, as I understand. Camden and Shanna Kane and their daughter Liliana are here. And also I have my siblings here, Camden and Roger Southern. Kevin and Haley Kane are representing Patrick Aloysius. He couldn't make it tonight. And David and Carrie are here as well. Also representing the family are Kaylee Bragg, and actually it's Mike Alby's protege, Theo, is there. Hey, Theo. Yeah, Mike. They do quite a bit of bowling up there at Arrowhead, and that goes without saying. And I think that, if I'm not mistaken, the old man got in here as well. So I want to acknowledge them. Before I get started, I just want to know that, want you to know that I had the privilege of being at an AI workshop at Woodland Bowl earlier this week. So I put together a little scenario and plugged it in and printed it out. I got an empty sheet of paper. Says what I know about bowling, doesn't it? I'll also share one other thing. I do some reading along the way, and I realized in reading this that 1 in 3 individuals are either extremely smart or extremely good looking. So what I'm going to ask you to do is, first of all, look to your left. Okay, look to your left. Now, look to your right. Now, if it's not either one of them, I'd say you're just extremely good looking and pretty smart about yourself. Congratulations. Give yourself a round. My God. All right. I was supposed to tell some stories, so that took care of that. I guess when you read that resume or whatever it was I turned in, that hey, I did right. You got pretty much what I was going to read to you, but I'm going to do something with that. I'm going to do some name dropping, and so bear with me on that because I'll try to pull it all together and make some sense out of it. And what time is it now? They gave me till 9 o'clock. I just want to make sure I didn't run over. So, how did I get here? Here's a brief history. In the early 1950s, my parents served as the Elwood Association secretaries, and consequently, they spent a lot of time at Elwood Bowl. That was a little 6-lane place downtown Elwood. That was Penn Boys and cigar smoke and all the good stuff that went with that. And in those days, you don't have something called babysitters, so I was drug out to the lanes to go with them and spent a lot of time there. And I guess that's where it kind of got in my blood. So I was actually, as I said in my resume, pulled off the streets and into the alleys, from the time I was 5, maybe 6 years old, which was definitely my first introduction to bowling, and it got in my blood and just caught up after that. At age 14, I got hired as a pin chaser at Wells Lanes. Ed Wells hired me, stuck me behind the lanes in a late league on Tuesday night, and they were short a bowler, and all of a sudden they pulled me out of the back and then to fill that spot within this men's league, which I've been bowling ever since. So you put the numbers together on that, you can see how long I've been a ABC bowler at that time, wasn't it? But USBC now. My claims to fame in 1963, now this was a time before all the blocking of the lanes and all that. But anyway, I won that city tournament, all events actual, with the 1790 series. Now, I was close to 18. I don't know why that nobody else was able to beat that score, but I do remember that, and I wish I still had that trophy to prove it. The part I do remember about it, at age 16, my dad, the city association secretary at that time, you cannot go to the banquet, they'll be drinking beer. Oh, I made up for that. And the other thing that I'll share with you was in 1975, I did record a 300 game. Now this was on that gutter-to-gutter, flat oil, that even distribution. I was so proud of that. The 6 sloppy, the 5 Brooklyns, and the 1 pocket strike that I bowled. And you think I'm kidding. That was done on that Brunswick B90 machine with no brushes to be cut or anything. So there's my claim to fame to bowling skills. I think my best skills came in BSing, but I still practice today. Okay, like I said, I'm going to throw a little name dropping out here as we go. So in 1970, Jack and Juanita Wright hired me to work at Lucky Strike Lanes. That was a 12-lane center. They just built 8 years prior, 62. I went to work there in 70. And I purchased it on a handshake from them in 1980. And that's the one they still own and operate today, with a lot of, I couldn't do it without my staff. And they're here, so I'm going to give them a little bit of a shout out as well. My bookkeeper, Dee Dalton, Jeff and Terry Salatin, I got to tell a quick story on them. They had actually worked for the Coopers for a long time, and then retired, went to Florida, and I got this call last year, and they informed me they were tired of the traffic, tired of the heat, tired of the humidity, tired of the hurricanes. They wanted to come back. I said, well, maybe. Okay, you can come back. Anyway, he picked him up, and they've been working for us over the past year. I explained it this way. I was looking for a needle in a haystack, because good help's hard to find. Yeah, I was looking for a needle in a haystack. I found the farmer's daughter. And she brought her husband with her. Wasn't that nice of her? Over that, we've got our Sally's at the Alley restaurant there, and Michelle Cook is here, and she is our kitchen manager, and she brought her older sister, her mother with her, who has been a great help to us for all these years, Ed May Schellenberger. So wait a minute, I think I've got some family involved in this thing as well. I've got Alex over there. He's kind of our lane man and just our handyman doing everything that we ask of him there. He is here. And then I got to tell you, Candace Evan, she's my sister. Not only my sister, she's covered my back for longer than I want to admit. And we would never be able to do it with this good staff that we have, and I'm so proud of them. We've done a lot of updates. We're getting ready to do some more. You can't wait. Bowling is calling, and change is the only constant. So I just emphasize that. So that said, let's get into what all we've done here with all that they have done. That's why we're able to do what we do. To get into a little bit of the BPA side of things, the Wrights were long-standing BPA members, and so I just continued to pay the dues. And I got a call from IBPA president at the time, Marlon Milligan. He was in South Bend time, to come to Indianapolis to attend a state get acquainted meeting. And it was definitely an eye-opening experience. I was around the players, you know what I'm saying? And I just really was I was committed after that point. But I really got involved in the Indiana BPA in 1986, and that was at the prodding of Kokomo proprietor Bob Colburn. He came up with this great idea of this zone concept, and that's what we did. We broke out into 8 different zones, and we really worked it and worked as a team. And that, I really think that's when we evolved into what we are today. And it's changed again, but with what we do, but we are getting the work done. So that said, it was through the BPA, IBPA connection that I met proprietor mentors, because I needed those mentors. And I'll tell you, the one that comes to mind, first of all, Carl Hendel, the gentleman. And I'll share what he told me. He says, Chuck, doesn't matter what you do, give them a good dessert. And to this day, I have a sign on our door, never desert dessert. And along with Carl, the other one that come to mind is Don Mitchell. Those guys, they just took me under wing and just treated me like I was one of the flock. And I appreciate that. But a generation down, we run into more of the people that have mentored me along the way. His son Jerry Hendel. Jerry, I mean, that goes without saying. He was your go-to guy if you had a problem. Charlie Brehon, Denny and Kathy Cooper are here tonight, and my good buddy Rick Braden. They all come to mind. And there are others, but that was kind of a core that I always relied on. And trust me, they're players. I'm a 12th lane hit from not French Lick, but Elwood. Population, by the way, 10,000. It's always been 10,000, because every time a baby's born, a man leaves town. You think I'm kidding? Now, the next generation is taking up the gauntlet, and I am just awestruck, because there are the whole. I told Scott Devers, he's back there. I said, Scott, we'll have to do this more often. We get more people here for this than we did our meetings that we have. No, all the board is here. I'm not going to try to name them, but they know who they are. And I'm just thankful and just, heartfelt thank you to all of you for taking the time to be here and be part of this. That's for sure. So, and I just want you to know that I'm still listening, because that's what gets things done, is when you listen instead of just trying to take the cotton out of your mouth and stick it in your ears. It doesn't work. You got to get it out of your ears and into your mouth and just listen. Now, I'm going to share this thought with you. Does anybody notice any similarities in your ISUSBC as to what you're doing today as to what we did through these years evolving? Kind of interesting, isn't it, that there's a lot of similarity there. So, let me go ahead and tell you that in 1998, Lucky Strike was privileged to host the 25th annual state seniors tournament with a record 2,000 plus, 55 and over singles came through that. We had to go about 4 weekends, I think, but we got it all in. We still got the flag on the wall for the good job that we had done. And I'm just honored that we were able to do that. I know the tournament is expanded to the format it is today, but I'm very proud of what we were able to do there. And I was approached by Ron Holder, didn't recognize him. He was the president at the time that we did that in 1998, and he reminded me of that. So I told you I was going to do some name dropping, so there you go. I'm still working on it, okay? Also, our representation in the 5th District has afforded me the connections. Mike Kirkpatrick is here. Bill Kendall is here. Jenny Ferguson is here, and I could go on and on, but those are 3 that just right off the top of my head I want to say thank you for all just being the friends that you have been and continue to be. But you know, I'd be remiss if I left out state reps like Tom Baxter, who is here, and it was already on there, Tom. I didn't make that up. Dan Kappa, bless his soul, and Corky Cook. And Corky was just a recipient here of a nice award this past week. Congratulations to Corky as well. And then, you know, I should drop a couple of ladies' names here. Just Judy Smith. I didn't see Judy tonight. I don't know if she made it or not. But and the other Donna Denny. Donna, are you here? I didn't see Donna either. There she is. Because I had to tell a story on Donna. Oh yeah. Anyway. Does it have to be true? I can make something up. I'm going to tell a true story. Make it up? All right, I couldn't make this up. This was at Lucky Strike, and I don't know, probably early 90s, I guess. I don't know, it was a 500 buddy tournament or a 600 club tournament. She and a couple of her friends came and bowled, and they had a good time. They said, you ought to come up to Warsaw. I said, well, right, yeah, I'll do that. Well, anyway, I'll get to it here later, but I set the stage for what happened some 10 years later, okay? So, but that is a true story, isn't that, Donna? You remember that at all? I hope, yes. Yeah, I just really, we had a good time that day, and I remembered it all those years, and later on it came to fruition. I assumed the Indiana Bowling Association presidency in 1999 and did the 1999-2000 term. And during my presidency, I was honored to serve on the Indiana Bowling Council. And for 2 years, and with Barb Spencer, bless her heart, we got a lot of things done during that time. Rick Braden had been really responsible for a lot of things along that way too. But we got a lot of the Special Olympics, a lot of that stuff was going on at the time. And I just, you know, she took the bull by the horn and got us active and all that. So she was the WIBC president at the time, I believe is the way that worked. Another memorable event for me was the inaugural Chris Schenkel Hall of Fame presentation banquet. And along with my good friend Jim Mansfield, we were honored to MC that event. And I've still got a signed note from Chris on that. He was my neighbor down the road when I was living at the lake there some years later. But it was just a very, very special occasion, and a lot of the USBC people that are here at the time will remember that. I think it was over there at the Radisson here in Indy as well. Okay, let's keep going. And a lot of this is in the book. If you want me to stop, you can just read it and I'll go home. I can do it. Or we might have a story. During my LACA presidency, the inception of high school bowling began to take shape. At that time, Royal Penn General Manager Jim Doty who was my vice president at the time, we discussed a lot of this, and he was coming into office, and he's the one that really took the bull by the horns and ran with it when he assumed the presidency. Retired proprietor Steve Kunkel became the face of the program. And now, with the guidance of proprietor / IBCA manager Scott Beavers, our dedicated proprietors are ISUSBC, coaches and volunteers, the program has grown to be the showcase program for the entire country. The middle school program has grown to record numbers as well. And give yourself a hand, you've been responsible for that as well. With IBCA's guidance and the on-site assistance of ISUBC staff led by Mike Krauser and Larry Ziedeman, the program continues to be our way of showcasing Indiana youth for the foreseeable future. I've only got 46 more pages. Okay, I'll read faster. In 2010, here we go, Donna, I attempted to retire and move to the lake. I received a phone call from Ben Stichter explaining to me his family had purchased lands in Warsaw, Indiana. They needed a consultant. Long story short, a 1-year consulting contract led to a 7-year management position. They turned an aging 16-lane center into one of the finest facilities in the state, my biased opinion. And I'd like you to know that the owners representing tonight are Brian and Jennifer Stichter. They're here. And my staff surprised me that I had at the time up here. They're all here as well. Got manager of the year, in the inaugural manager of the year, Brian Bibler, Lisa Helzer, BC Courtney, and Phil Keppel, and their wives, Nancy, Fran. They're all here. And I can't thank you people enough for making that. That was a team. There's no I in team. We've all heard that said, and that continues to this day with whatever we do. But I want to thank you for all being here, and what a nice surprise that we have. In BC, he's also I drug him to Warsaw and back, but we made it through. Now. And it was already mentioned earlier, but I'm going to mention it again. The 2014 bowling alley, isn't that a novel name, the bowling alley? Who in the hell came up with that? Don't answer. Hosted the Indiana State Seniors Tournament with the Warsaw USBC and Association Manager Dave Miller's efforts. We delivered a first-class event. And unfortunately, Dave passed away shortly before the tournament began. Our state association representatives, Gene Neal, A.J. Hacker, and the late Dale Bennington, along with current association manager Terry Stump and her supporting team, performed admirably in his memory. And yes, Marcia, you can feel very proud of that job that was done. And I just had to acknowledge that, because it was a. It got tough there when all this happened, but as a team, we pulled through. So after 7 years of my 1-year contract, I decided to return to Elwood and become more active in the day-to-day operation at that Lucky Strike. Upon my return, people would ask, "We thought you were going to retire." And my reply, "Well, I have to get a job first, so I'm still looking for that job." So. A couple of the other things that I really am proud of, from a standpoint of just being a part of, is the Solid Kane Memorial Golf Tournament that's held annually in Fort Wayne. In 2013, my wife Sally passed away after a 6-year battle with breast cancer. In her honor, the IBCA Board of Directors voted to title the tournament in her name. At the time, IBCA President Dave Kirchner asked me to chair. This has been a labor of love over the past 11 years. July 28th marks our 12th year of the tournament, and we are anticipating 30 teams participating. To date, we have given out over $55,000 in scholarships to deserving high school bowling participants from all over the state. This has been a team effort championed by title sponsor Classic Products, couldn't do it without them, pro shops, vendors, and the USBC and the IBC all participating again this year. I was honored to serve on the committee for the 75th anniversary of the IBCA in French Lick in May of 24. This was a collaboration of IBCA and the ISUSBC working together to not only celebrate but unify the two organizations in their efforts to meet the challenges before us. Honestly, this event could not have happened without the tireless efforts of all involved. ISUSBC was well represented. I would like to give a personal shout out to Brian Manning, Dee Johnson, and John Kelly for their efforts. Without them, the quality of this event would have diminished exponentially. Brian's technical skills, Bill's countless hours with the help of her daughter, Angie. That's an insider. Putting the book together, and I've got the book down there at my table. If anybody would like to take a look at that, they haven't seen it already. It's got quite a history there, going back 75 years, and incorporating not only the proprietary site, but the USB sites as well. So feel free to take a look there, and there may be some running around there. But anyway, putting that book together and the research of the history that John did of both associations, it was just, it was priceless. It really was. God, we got 36 more pages? Okay. As you can see, I've done a lot of name dropping during this presentation. It confirms that there is a reason we are all called associations. No one individual can accomplish what groups with unified goals can accomplish. It is my hope that these strides we have accomplished recently in cooperation between the ISUSBC and the IBCA will catapult us forward to continuing to work collectively to support and promote this great game we call bowling. In closing, I'd just like to share with you, there are givers and takers in this world. Takers eat better. Givers sleep better. As I look around this room, I'm convinced you will all sleep well tonight. Thank you.
All right, I'd like to say thank you again to Chuck and congratulations. And thanks Terry and Marcia for coming up and introducing him. And now I'd like to give one more round of applause for all four tonight in memory of John, Tom, Mark, and Chuck. At this time, I would like to ask that ISUSBC all Hall of Fame members please step out in the hallway over to the atrium side.
So I'm just gonna turn my camera. Okay. And then I guess they're going down this aisle now, is that right? So yeah, we can just take up this whole aisle. We'll have to spin it around. Like this.
You're gonna have to stop and turn this way.
Hey, take a picture of Tiffany. We'll see her.
I've got 3 or 4 minutes for tonight.
Oh,
I'm sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. You're going to the last one. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. My daughter's going to the house. I got 4 minutes.
yep. All right, we're gonna start getting ready to introduce our Hall of Fame members. We're gonna do 2 at a time. They're gonna come up here, they're gonna stop in the front, we're gonna take a picture of them, and then they will walk down the aisles, okay? We're gonna start with our 1992 Mike Albee. In 1993, Tommy Baxter. All right, 1996, Joe Picone. In 1998, Patty Edmondson. All right. 2002, we have Scott Devers. And in 2004, Dave Hurt. In 2007, we have Dee Johnson, and we have Mark Millsap for 2007. In 2008, Michael Kirkpatrick. In 2009, Ron Holder. In 2010, we have Denny Cooper, and we also have Jenny Ferguson. And Jenny is over there. Yes, he's over there.
He's coming. Yeah. Yep. We'll do it. Maybe. Maybe my turn. It's a tight fit. Yeah, we'll leave it in here and then I'll take it back. Mark's gonna come take a picture.
In 2010 also, we have John Kelly and Gary Ness. In 2011, we have Jeff Circle and Gary Heidig.
You break it? No, okay.
In 2012, we have Edie Klein. In 2014, Aaron McCormick. In 2015, we have Linda Burns and Tony Peterson.
That look good, or don't just say this looks good.
That was good.
He's just.
Linda, you never take a bad picture.
In 2015, we have Randy Robertson. In 2016, Paul Sutton.
I didn't hear anything break.
Next, in 2016, we have Kim Woodall. In 2017, Brian Nunning.
More? Over that way, just over there. Okay, now I got all. There we go.
In 2017, we have Christy Woodruff, and 2019, Donna Denny. In 2019, we have Tim Mack and Marcia Miller. In 2019, we have Tom Taylor, and in 2020, Cindy Adams. In 2020, we have Corky Cook and Rick Schultz. In 2021, we have Jerry Hindle, and in 2023, we have Linda Isaac. In 2023, we have Mary Utley, and we also have Martha Vasquez Bozeman. In 2024, we have Ron Everingham, and we have William Kendall Sr. It's my pleasure to start introducing you 2025 inductees tonight. First one is Tom Banner, and in memory of John Murphy, Larry Fair.
Yeah.
Both of you.
Both of you together. He would hold John's picture up just a little bit more. Thank you.
And our last two tonight, but not the least, is Mark Hunt and Chuck Kane for 2025. And I believe at this time they're going to be doing some group Hall of Fame pictures. But give a congratulations to everybody for tonight, and thank you.